that in paragraph 5 of your statement. So intercepting a truck and searching it, that's a normal police operation, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And what was your reason for not going to the Alberton police station and to say to them, look, I will be conducting a search operation in your area of jurisdiction. I cannot give you the details because it's sensitive. I don't want people who may compromise the operation to compromise it. Just so that it's recorded in the books of the police, and at the very least there's an entry or an inquiry dealing with the operation that you were about to carry out that day.
Maybe looking at the time, Commissioner, it wouldn't allow me to go to the police station and come back. I might go there and it leaves. So
no, but Nku is there. He's telling you that I'm here, the truck is there. So if it leaves, he will tell you that the truck is leaving. You told us that Nku was already there, and he told you that this is the location, the truck is here. You are in Alberton, your suburb, from your suburb to the Alberton police station, I don't think it's even 2 kilometers.
Again, I'm being careful also as to who do I involve.
So you did not want Alberton police station to know that you were engaging in this operation?
Not necessarily that I didn't want to know. You know, if in an operation, things happen so fast. It happens so fast that you think of the operation, you think of the safety, you think of the agency, you think of a lot of things.
Chief, the operation has not started. You are at your house in the Alberton area. That suburb where it is and where the Alberton police station is can be 5 kilometers. It's a short distance. Nothing stops you in 5 minutes to go to the Alberton police station and to say, I'm a traffic officer, I'm not a policeman, I'm a traffic officer. I will be conducting a search and seizure in your area of jurisdiction. The details are sensitive because my source says I must not disclose it to people who may compromise the operation. Just so that the station commander is aware that there's a traffic officer who is in his jurisdiction conducting what is essentially police work.
The police, the station commander is also senior. So he might be one of the people that I might not make away.
So even if you don't give him the details and you just say, I'm conducting an operation, due to its sensitive nature, I cannot disclose the detail. But so that you know there's a traffic officer in your area of jurisdiction who's conducting a search and seizure operation. Are you saying you couldn't even do that?
How commanders work, even myself, I know I would want to know. It is sensitive? What is it? Remember, you are expecting my station's assistance.
As you should.
Yes.
Because this is not a traffic police operation. Let me ask you one last question. Are you familiar with the Roads and Road Traffic Provincial Act of Gauteng, Act 10 of 1997? Are you familiar with it?
Which act?
Gauteng Provincial Road Traffic Act 10 of 1997. Chair, it's here. So.
Sorry.
It's a simple question. Are you familiar with it, yes or no?
I am, yes.
And am I correct that this is the statute that regulates what traffic officers in Gauteng are supposed to do or are allowed to do and not allowed to do? If I'm wrong, you can say I'm wrong. We can move on.
No, I'm aware.
I am correct.
You are correct.
And you have it in front of you. Am I correct? Go to section 10, please.
Yes.
Do you see that the heading to section 10 says powers and duties of a traffic officer?
Yes.
And since you are familiar with this, is there anywhere there where it says you can go? Is there anywhere in section 10 where it says traffic officers can go to a private facility such as a warehouse and conduct search and seizure operations?
This is a Road Traffic Act. I'm using Criminal Procedure Act as a peace officer now.
Chief, Chair has already engaged you about the Criminal Procedure Act. I'm not going there. This statute says, section 10, powers and duties of a traffic officer. Do you see the heading?
Yes, sir.
And then it sets out what the powers and duties of traffic officers are. Now, is there anywhere in that section where it says a traffic officer can go to private premises of a business and conduct and search and seizure operation?
No.
Thank you.
Can I just ask, you said to Commissioner Khumalo that even your commanders are not to be trusted. When you say you, and I don't mean necessarily your direct commander, I didn't understand you that way, but you were talking about the senior people, that even those that are commanders are not to be trusted. Now, how and why would you have known that you can trust Warrant Officer Pukungwane with this mission? Because now your evidence is you did tell him it's a sensitive operation, so he understood that it's something that he must keep to himself. How did you know that you could trust him with that?
Well, Pukungwane, I can say he also stays in my neighborhood.
Yes.
We also form part of neighborhood watch or neighborhood patrol. Mm. So I know him more than others. And I have worked with him officially also. You've
done other operations with him?
Yes.
Okay. And were they the kind of operations that, and you can give us what those operations are they the kind of operations where sensitivity of information not to be disclosed to superiors, not just generally, but not to be disclosed to superiors was an issue in those operations? Did he have the same suspicion, or does he? And we will ask him if we have to. Does he have the same suspicion of superiors that you have, that you would trust him, that if it is something, a mission or an operation about which superiors should not know, he would oblige?
Well, that I don't know.
Yeah, then that begs my question. If you have not had past dealings with him in these kind of circumstances, comparable circumstances, if you have not had past dealings with him, how would you have known that you can trust him not to alert superiors that Chief Mashaba is involved in a secret operation that superiors shouldn't know about? How do you know he was trustworthy?
A person that you, when I say in my neighborhood, it would mean I would know him more than others that are not staying around with us. I will, as a colleague, as somebody that we always work together or visit, we get to know one another. You get to be comfortable with one another.
Okay.
That's how you build even a trust.
Okay, so from what you're saying, Pakungwana is not an arm's length relationship that you have with him. It's someone that you know fairly closely and you've dealt with him.
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioners.
Now, how would have Pakungwana known that he has to give you a police officer who can keep things secret? Did you ask him? Did you say, I need you to give me someone who will keep this mission quiet?
Like I'm saying, when I say to him, it is sensitive. I know he would treat it as such, and he would also prefer somebody that would do the same.
Okay, that will keep it quiet.
That would do the same, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to make sure that you are not going back on what you said yesterday, because when Commissioner Khumalo is engaging you on the act that stipulates your powers and functions, you say, I use the Criminal Procedure Act. Maybe I should ask you this. What exactly in the Criminal Procedure Act do you use?
Well, it gives us a power and authority to let me say, almost act similar or exactly powers that the police has.
By saying what?
I can hear, Commissioner.
By providing what exactly?
By giving you powers, you can.
Okay, relate that to what you did in this instance.
You can stop, okay, you can search, you can seizure, you can arrest, you can.
But is that not within the powers that you have? You have specified powers which Commissioner Khumalo referred you to, and you agreed that those are indeed the powers that you have in terms of that act. So I would imagine that in certain instances, but in relation to those powers, you may have to arrest, you may have to search and seize, but in relation to those powers. Because if you can now search and seize in respect of matters you have no powers over, it makes nonsense. That would make nonsense of the powers that are stipulated as being the powers that you have. It would basically mean that you have any powers that you believe you have.
I don't get you.
Why would the act that Commissioner Khumalo referred you to stipulate powers if you can basically act outside of your powers? Because that's what I understand you to be saying. You are basically saying just because the Criminal Procedure Act provides for searches and seizures, you can then search and seize even in respect of matters you have no powers over.
Okay, let me talk about giving you powers now.
Or let me ask the question this way. Are you by referring to the Criminal Procedure Act, are you suggesting that the Criminal Procedure Act gives you the power to search and seize in respect of offenses that fall outside of the powers, your powers stipulated in the act that Commissioner Khumalo referred to?
Yes, that's what I correct.
So you are saying the Criminal Procedure Act adds to the powers that are stipulated in the act.
Because these ones limit me as a law enforcement official.
I will suggest to you that all that the Criminal Procedure Act does is to say this is how you arrest. It is under ABCD circumstances that you are able to search and seize. But that must be read within the powers that you otherwise have. You cannot go outside of those powers. But if you must arrest, then you may arrest according to the Criminal Procedure Act. But arresting in respect of offenses that you have powers over, in accordance with the Act, you then use the Criminal Procedure Act. Also, you search and seize, but in respect of the offenses specified in the Act. That is how you should read the Criminal Procedure Act. You cannot suddenly, just because there's a Criminal Procedure Act, move outside of the powers that you have. It cannot be, because it would then make nonsense of the powers that have specifically been provided for. I hope you won't again say you don't understand me.
Well, when we're talking law, I take the cue from you.
Do you accept what I'm
Chairperson.
saying? Do you accept what I'm saying?
You know it better. You are an expert compared to.
Do you accept what I'm saying?
I accept.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chief, can I just understand what was your concern about being cautious about involving high-ranking officials in this operation? What was the concern if you involved them?
The concern most of the time from seniors is interferences most of the time.
Okay, but here you were given a specific, a specific request was made by Mr. Nku to you when he told you about this, when he gave you the tip-off. He said that you must be cautious about high-ranking officials. Was the concern that the high-ranking officials would interfere in the seizure, or was the concern that they would take over? What was the issue?
The issue was like if you involve somebody that's got an interest in whatever operation you want to engage yourself in, obviously you will get a sabotage or you'll get discouraged as to, no, leave that one.
Okay, you mean if they have an unlawful interest in it, so if they want to compromise the seizure, the operation?
Yes.
Okay. So once you then get to, once you open we'll get to the procedure that you followed. Once you open the truck and you find the drugs, you've now secured the drugs. Why don't you involve DPCI then? Why don't you call them then? Because if it's a legitimate operation that you're undertaking, then that fear or that risk is gone. They can't now do anything about it because the drugs have been secured. Why don't you involve them then?
DPCI most specifically are the ones that we know they are more captured. They are worse than a normal police because we know they are captured.
Okay, even if you have that knowledge, they're not all captured, but even if you have that knowledge, once you find the drugs, you are there, you are witness. The people from Scania, they are witnesses. So the drugs can't be taken at that point. You can still be there at the scene. They can be. What is the concern then? I don't understand. Because if your concern was that they would interfere with the operation and compromise the bust, once the drugs have been found, that is gone. If, of course, your intention is for this to be a legitimate operation, you actually do want to seize the drugs.
In actual fact, Once I have involved the police, I wouldn't want to, I would now start playing a supporting role. I wouldn't want, I leave it to the police and I give it, they know what to do.
But you didn't do that. You had Mahane there, but you wanted to arrest Ms. Wenzel.
Remember, we were two there, myself and Mahane.
Yes?
Like the other day, I don't remember, was it Wednesday or yesterday? I said, in the police, you don't command somebody's resources. And in the police, protocol dictates that in a joint operation with the police, protocol dictates that police takes the lead. I will be playing a supporting role. Once I have a supporting role, does not mean I'll be standing there folding my arms. Whatever he does, especially if he concentrates on what we're talking about now, this operation, I become busy with the suspects.
But why aren't you calling DPCI or anyone else at that point, because the drugs have been secured? You don't know how to do this operation. Mahane doesn't know how to do it. So it would have been at that point, even if we were to accept that you had legitimate fears about interference, once you're on the scene and you've seen the drugs, then you could have engaged them. But that is only if it was your true intention to actually seize these drugs in order for it to be taken to the police station, for it to be processed. If, however, it was part of your side hustle, then would it explain why you wouldn't want to get anyone else involved and why it was only you and Mahane, because you thought because Mahane is being recommended by Pokonyani, who was your original person, that he would also be in on the deal. That would be the only sensible thing to conclude as to why, as soon as the drugs are secured, you don't involve anybody from law enforcement.
Like I'm saying, once I involve the police, I might have maybe a big mouth standing there, but I leave everything to the police. They know who to call, what to do. They know exactly that is the area of expertise.
You're saying it was for Mahane to do all of those things. It's now his operation, because when you open the container, it's just the two of you. Are you saying at that point he's in charge of this operation?
He is in charge, yes.
And what does being in charge mean at a scene? Because I imagine it doesn't mean every law enforcement official who's there can choose and decide what to do. Otherwise, there's no in charge, if all of us can decide what to do. So maybe just unpack for us, what is to be in charge at a scene like this when there's the two of you at that point?
You take accountability, you take control of the scene.
How does it take accountability of your decision to arrest a person if that person should not have been arrested, is what I'm trying to understand, that he doesn't seem to direct you. You say, I'm at the scene, I also get to do stuff. So if you do something wrong, how does he take accountability for it if he's not in charge? You are both in charge, it seems, on your account.
No, I cannot be. Like I'm saying, in the police, you don't command somebody's resources.
Yes.
And when we are jointly working in an operation, they take the lead.
Yes.
I'm being guided by them.
But he didn't guide you in the decision who to arrest. At least I've not understood that to be your evidence that you caused the arrest of somebody because Mahano said that. And hence my question, that it seems you, and you keep using the word joint operation, which seems to be consistent with saying, well, he does his bit, I do mine. We both do what we think is right on the scene. And if that's your evidence, that is your evidence. I'm just trying to understand that was Mahane in fact in charge of this scene? You say he was in charge. And then I say, well, then how do you explain your independent actions on the scene, including the decision to place somebody under arrest? If Mahane was in charge, yes.
Myself?
Yes.
If he is in charge, it's not like I am divorcing him for him to do everything while I'm there.
Mm.
Arresting, I don't need his permission, I can still do. If there's that reasonable suspicion.
Even though you're not acting under his direction, you say a traffic officer like you has the authority on that scene to effect an arrest.
That I can do.
Acting
yes.
independently without it being directed by the SAPS.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I just, your response to Advocate Ngube that because the PCI is captured, you made the decision that you don't want to involve them. It's not up to you to decide that, because I'm reading Brigadier Shibiri's affidavit. He says, when you